Hello everyone, and thank you for coming to this talk, and thank you to Future Build and the Department for Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy for giving me this opportunity to come to the event and come up on stage. So why are we here? Today we are going to look at how we connect communities to the urban environment and nature, learning how we as a society can enhance our health and well-being while simultaneously engaging with nature in a positive way. So what is Habitat Matters? Habitat Matters aims to help the UK construction industry and also the public to understand the intricate relationship between humans, infrastructure, and the environment around them. The initiative aims to safeguard urban wildlife habitats and ultimately tackle the biodiversity crisis we face and also the decline of biodiversity in the UK. Now, we recognise that to reach our goal and to maximise the impact of the programme that we've put in place, we need to work with others across the industry. Our collective have come together to protect and enhance biodiversity in the built environment and ensure it in the future for future generations. So, first of all, I'll go through the reasoning behind the creation of the Habitat Matters mapping system. So the threat we pose to the planet is beyond doubt, so much so that the World Economic Forum put biodiversity loss and natural resource depletion as the most impact long-term risk alongside weapons of mass destruction, which really is a statement in itself. And this is really primarily driven by population growth and our need for resources, both nationally and internationally. In little over 200 years, we've gone from being 1 billion to 7 billion in population. With an increased population, we also have changes in land use with more housing, more infrastructure, and more industry being built. And the Korean land use map estimated that we changed 1% of the UK's land mass over a period of 6 years between 2006 and 2012. So it really does give an indication of how we're changing the urban environments we live in. And the UK has really led the world in the destruction of the natural habitats around them. Over centuries of farming and industrialization, this has led to placed us in the bottom 3 in Europe and also in the bottom 10% globally for biodiversity depletion. And obviously construction has played a major part in this, with our impacts on wildlife populations worldwide causing habitat loss, pollution, and fragmentation. And as a species, we are becoming increasingly disconnected from nature as well. We spend on average 70% of our time indoors, and of that time, we spend 13 hours, roughly on average, per day looking at screens. So the way we're leading our lives is leading to a very sedentary existence and also increasing stress levels, causing a health crisis linking to a range of both mental and physiological illnesses and diseases, something that can be combated by our interaction with nature and natural systems. And this disconnection is further illustrated by the data you see on the screen here from 2013. At the time, around 47% of the population were either unaware or not concerned about biodiversity loss happening in the UK and indeed the world. So as a society, what are we trying to do about it? So it's not all bad news. Between 2014 and 2018, the number of people highly engaged in biodiversity doubled, and this is likely to have increased since. The key to biodiversity protection enhancement is to increase engagement. This is one of the key findings of the Biodiversity 2020 study, which was formulated back in 2011, where people are at the heart of biodiversity conservation, strategy, policy, and also indeed monitoring of biodiversity in the long term. And it's not just individuals that need to engage and make a difference. The whole industry and governmental bodies have to, through legislation, guidance, design, and planning. And there really is a desire to change within industry Thousands of organizations have signed up to various decline initiatives, and this is clearly indicating there is a desire to do something about the climate and ecological emergency. Now, the government's even got in on the act. And just after COP26, they enshrined the Environmental Act into law. And this ensures that we advance environmental protections, which is vitally important for the progression and the demonstration of biodiversity net gain, which is the concept of it being illustrated on the screen here. Now, biodiversity net gain makes it mandatory for developers in England to leave the site in a better state than it was before the development was implemented. And it has to provide at least 10% biodiversity net gain in respect to any new development that results in habitat loss or degradation. And nature and ecosystem services underpin a healthy, prosperous environment for us all. It's not only imperative to design green infrastructure, it is also important to connect the community and nature together. And biodiversity net gain can help forge this connection and also supports good social outcomes and well-being. Now, Public Health England's work on improving access to green space estimated that we would save 2.1 billion if everyone had access to it. And this is money all saved out of our pocket for the NHS. And evidence shows that living in greener environments can promote and protect good health and also aid in the recovery from illness. People with a greater exposure to green spaces and green infrastructure have a range of more favorable physiological outcomes. And of course, this natural capital that we're creating with the green infrastructure and also creating a diverse range of urban habitats and planting different species can have a massive positive effect, in fact, on biodiversity, where it's been found that some bee species have increased due to urban areas and also the diversity of plants within it. It's important that we design rich streetscapes, not only for our health, but also for that of natural systems. Now, connecting to nature is vitally important for children as well, and especially their development, where children who engage with nature have larger hippocampuses in their brain, which is an area of the brain used for problem solving. So it's really critical that children engage fully in greener environments. And this is filtering down into the education system, where the Department for Education have nature in its draft strategy for sustainability and climate action, aiming to inspire action for nature, improve local environments, and increase access for nature as well. So, how do we create a connection between the community, the built environment, and nature? How do we unlock social capital, contribute towards national biological record keeping, and the future maintenance and management of built habitats for the benefits of biodiversity? So what ACCO have done, we've worked with many industrial partners, but we've also worked with a biological mapping specialist, and we've created the Habitat Matters mapping system. And now this is a free tool. You've got free access to it. You can go online now and you can look at it. It's habitat-matters.com. And within the tool, you can search for records and you can learn about the effectiveness of urban and semi-urban habitats and biodiversity across the UK by browsing through thousands of records from the UK Centre for Ecology and Hydrology and also the Biological Record Centre. And it enables you to add your own site and replicate the physical environment. You can create unique QR codes for the physical environment you created, which connects the individual to the built environment habitat. And it guides you to pertinent information about it and also the collection of biodiversity observational data. And you can also collect and submit habitat, feature, and ecological data pertaining to the site's management and mitigation solutions for your scheme or project. And a few more things it can do, it enables the public to submit valuable biodiversity information and observational data through their interaction with the urban habitat that you've created in your designs or what you've witnessed in real life. helping to continue monitoring animal and plant species in the UK and contributing towards national biological record keeping, which is a cornerstone of this actual initiative. So to replicate what's in the physical environment, we've used categories from Natural England's biodiversity matrix and also their small site matrix as well. And we've also used categories from the UK HAB Unified Habitat Classification System and added an extensive features list so that all the various technologies that you utilize to protect and enhance biodiversity can be recorded. And you can give a true representation of what's on the site. Now, the project you see on the screen here serves the local community, and it takes runoff from the local housing estate on the site itself. Now, they have close ties with the local community and especially schools who visit the site to learn about SUDs, sustainable urban drainage systems, and also local ecology. Now, this is a great example of how design of good urban habitats can benefit communities and natural systems. Now, you can see that we've mapped out the site using the Habitat Matters mapping system and replicated the physical environment where it has a range of ponds, tunnels, guidance walls for nature to get into the tunnels, and also escape ladders, along with many other things. And now we connect the physical world to the digital space through QR codes. Now, for every single habitat or every single site, habitat, and feature that's generated, you can actually scan the code and it will connect to the digital environment. And the critical thing of this is that the user is invited to submit biodiversity observational data. And this data is then submitted to iRecord and also the Biological Records Centre in the UK, a huge organisation that catalogues and categorizes biological data. And this eventually contributes to the State of Nature report at the end of the year. Now, what we're essentially doing is we're connecting the built environment through biodiversity net gain planning and also contributing to national biological record keeping, which is quite a feat, but also really essential for communities and also for nature as well. Now, the features in the mapping tool can help achieve different principles of biodiversity net gain. It enables you to be more inclusive and engaging with the community around you, allowing the evaluation of the net gain approach, making a measurable net gain contribution where the community have conducted monitoring and also feedback best practice for the effective management of the net gain solution being implemented now and also in the future. Of course, this would not replace any ecological survey that was done, but it does give a body of evidence back to the engineer or whoever's designed the project to understand the effect that their design is having on ecological systems. And it will also help develop the knowledge and skills through engagement with nature, which is a key driving force of the amenity pillar in SUDS. Adding the QR code to signage can help enforce this connection and support community environmental learning. This can also create a legacy where the local community will protect and manage the urban environment assets that have been created through engagement. And of course, we must not forget the potentially wider social benefits that we can unlock by engaging with the community. This is an essential element of any design moving forward. So just to wrap things up on this final slide, the Habitat Matters mapping system can connect the public, the urban environment, and biodiversity observational data. We know this will have a lot of positive outcomes both for mental and physical health. It will enable the gathering of biological data at scale and at the local level, helping build community engagement with natural systems. And the more engagement people have with nature, then the greater likelihood of positive action for nature as well. Now, this type of citizen science will assist in the long-term monitoring of biodiversity to demonstrate biodiversity net gain and connect the built environment professional with the impact of their design actions as well. Now, thank you for listening. I've just got one more slide to go through. Over the other side, just nearing the back wall, is the Habitat Matters Cafe area, where we'll be talking about the software and providing demonstrations and guidance. We also have an array of wildlife products on the actual stand as well, along with the Acco Technology PLC next door, where we can talk about the sustainable management of surface water and how that connects with natural systems.